If only you knew how true this is. Your eye, inverted from the start. The gateway's guarded, the sentinel sleeps, but realize, realize, realize. Realize, realize, realize. Seizure in the pineal, Lucifer's disguise. Globe in your socket, program from the cradle. Flat up, true rising, watch the matrix cradle. Your eyes or they scream, choose your side. Open the single lie, let the most high inside. Realize, realize, realize. Wake up, sheeple, before the firmament dies. Image is the retina upside down, blind spot in the middle. Brain flips the script, constructs the riddle. They call it the globe, the ball in your skull. Dollar bill, flash in the eye, the cold. All seeing counterfeit, hovering high. Pyramid, unfinished, over sort of lie. Millie P. Hall spoke the deeper truth. Eyes a gateway, sentinel of the youth. But they calcified the pineal, fluoride in the water. Block a third eye, lead the soul to slaughter. Realize, realize, realize. Realize, realize, realize. Seagull in the pineal, Lucifer's disguise. Levels you to raise like crossing the grand. Pineal throne where the lines make the stand. Downward V with the bars curl at the base. Siege of love, Lucifer etched into space. Zoom to the cosmos, eclipse in the night. Penumbra, umbra, same shadow, same sight. As above, so below. Fractal deception. Enemy braining God's perfect perception. They know the design, mimic the creator. Fallen ones teaching the hidden equator. Space is a story, you swallowed it whole. CGI heavens on the screen that they control. No measurable curve. Water finds level. Horizon eye level. No spin, no bevel. Polaris fixed stars. Circuit the dome. Southern circles opposite. Truth coming home. Boats don't vanish whole first, just zoom 'em back. No stellar parallax, constellations intact. You and logo laughing, flat map in plain sight. 33 sections, ice wall, firmament light. Truth in their temple, mocking the blind while you trust NASA's forked serpent sign. Standing on the shore, flat line to the end. Sun local lamp, not a ball around the bend. But hold up the phone, curved line your hand. Choose your master, whose vision will stand. Your eyes or the screen, flesh or machine, God's creation or Lucifer's dream. Realize, realize, realize. Seizure in the pineal, Lucifer's disguise. Globe in your socket, program from the cradle. Flat up, truth rising, watch the matrix cradle. Your eyes on that screen, choose your side. Feel the single lie with light, let darkness die. Realize, realize, realize. The lamp of the body is the eye. Matthew 6:22, open wide. If your eye be single, your whole body filled with light. But if your eye be evil, darkness inside. Realize, realize, realize.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of Heliopsychosis Podcast. This is your host, Vikka Draziv, guys. Welcome to the show. And yes, what an awesome conversation and topic we've got today. Hope you guys are doing great. Another week passed by. Hope the Sunday is been awesome or you're having an awesome Sunday. And thanks for being here, guys. And yes, tonight's topic, Mr. Bashar. I see in the chat few people asking who is he, and someone answered the right way. A gatekeeper demon, like another gear, another cog in the globe machine, right? So absolutely, get your popcorn, tea, spliff, wine, whatever makes you comfortable, and we jump in tonight's topic. I've been having my tea too, hibiscus tea with lion's mane. You get yours too, and yeah. Before we get into that, just want to give a quick shout out to Paulino B. Michael and Chelsea B. Michael, who has a show or a podcast called The Flat Out Truth. You can find them on TikTok. I was a guest there a couple of weeks ago. Amazing show, amazing people. I had a great time. So if you guys are on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, do check them out. The Flat Out Truth. Oh yeah. And with tonight's topic, Mr. Bashar. Mr. Bashar is supposed to be a psychic, the so-called psychic, a channeler, right? Who's been channeling aliens, right? The way he speaks, right? We've been seeing him since he appeared on the scene, right? Like the way he tried to speak like an alien, like like something has been like overtaking him, and like, is it real or it's a show, right? He talks a lot of sense, a lot of time. Why do he do that? And many people resonate with him. Even the so-called awakened and truth seekers are like, yeah, man, this guy's freaking deep. Maybe he has some kind of connection with those aliens who's giving him that information, right? But there are many other people like him on the scene. Also, the other guy, we did a show, I don't remember his name. Yep. Like, who does those emerald tablet stuff. If anybody in the chat remembers, can put him there, right? Same generic people, right? Put there in the scene. So the agenda of the space and aliens and globe continues, right? We have Neil deGrasse Tyson, the Brian Koch, the Nye, right? All these guys. Similar genre, but on a different level. And these guys are more like, want to be the esoteric spiritual connection to space and globe. And, finding spirituality through aliens, right? This is what they're selling. That's why these people are being pumped up. And they are there where they're supposed to be, right? So we got to listen to this guy, right? He makes a lot of sense in many things, as I said earlier, but I still never bought, like, yeah, man, this guy is really the truth, because you could sense that manipulative, psychological mind bending he does, right? He's been prepared. He's prepared himself. He's become skillful in doing what he does, and to psychologically make people believe that it's been channeling an entity, right? I'm not saying that everyone who does that is a fake, but this guy who's here from more than a decade, right? He pulls a huge crowd. He pulls quite a huge crowd, right? And people have loads of questions for him, So he, speaking about flat earth, so is an answer for the people who had that doubt that is this guy legit or not. And we can see that he's not legit. And I'm gonna say again, I don't mean to say that all the people who have a connection or try to connect with whoever they do, even with their gods, right? It's not all fake, right? There could be connection, but there are people who take advantage of these things. That's why they are being paid. That's why the gatekeeper at a level where people are going to believe. So he coming and saying that the earth is a sphere. Again, it shows that flat earth is doing damage like always. They have to use their figures, their puppets, whatever we want to call, in this kind of way to try to put flat earth down. But in reality, it shows who are legit and who is not. So we're going to be listening to this guy. Before he gets into flat earth, he gets into some vegan things and all this stuff, but we're going to listen to him.
You be more in tune or standing with a higher frequency or vibration if you are a vegan or vegetarian?
It can work that way, but it again depends upon the person. There are many people who are not vegan or vegetarian who have very high vibrations. It just depends upon what you're exploring and how you explore it and how you align with things. It is possible, and maybe even generally true, for many people on your planet that a lighter diet may be more conducive to a higher frequency of energy. But that is.
This is the thing. Also, I wanted to mention that that I wanted to make this podcast from last year, right? As I said, and I didn't have the opportunity because of whatever reason and things, and there was some days I could, and I tried, and it was strange shit was happening, so I let it go. So that's why we're doing, just letting the people know, right? So there are people who, because if you're trying to defend a lie, you have to have connections and through all these beings and energies to manipulate the human race, right? And whoever try to go against these people, right? Just putting it out there.
This is always the case. So it really depends on a case-by-case basis. Make sense?
Yes.
It is wise to follow your own instincts, your own body consciousness, your own highest excitement, and what seems natural for you. But again, do know that most.
Oops.
But that isn't always the case.
Sorry, guys.
So it really depends on a case-by-case basis. Make sense?
Yes.
It is wise to follow your own instincts, your own body consciousness, your own highest excitement, and what seems natural for you. But again, do remember that even Jesus ate fish. Yes?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So the idea really is what you do with it, what the relationships you form with the food, what your understanding is of gratitude for having received what the animal has given to you as a gift to support you.
So this is the thing. There's a lot of understanding of psychology and spirituality, right? It's not just that the alien gave to him, right? There has to be a lot of study that he needs to have done to understand this kind of psychology to make the people give that answer, right? Here he's speaking about eating, being vegan or having carnivorous diet, right? It's a very difficult question. It's a very, I see both the sides, right? But the nature works the way the nature works. I'm not saying the people who are eating carnivore diet are wrong or right, or no. I think it's all depend upon the blood types, right, and the geographical location. My understanding, right. I'm not saying anybody to be or not be, right, a vegan or not a vegan, right, because even growing vegetables and crops, a lot of insects, animals, and mammals get unalive because of all the farmings and all the chems and all this stuff, right? We, even when we move nature wherever we are, there are insects, it's so many things like life, bacteria, many things, right? So the concept of eating or not eating is quite difficult, and I think we should let the people do what they think is right. I'm not trying to say what is right or what is wrong, right? So yeah, so he manipulates really well, like in saying, right, do the both things. In the end, like, it's like always he's gonna leave the people on the edge and never gonna give them the full answer, right? That's also a way of saying, yeah, it's better that you don't freaking get it and do this way, right? So let's play it.
It depends on the relationship. Many indigenous tribes have very, very beneficial relationships with the animals that they eat. And thus it doesn't in any way, shape, or form reduce their vibration. You understand?
I do.
So really, there is a general understanding that as you raise your vibration, it may be that you will feel less need or less urge to consume heavier sustenance, so to speak, but just let that occur naturally. And if you feel the urge to simply be vegan or vegetarian, then by all means act on it and see what happens. If, however, at any point in that process you suddenly feel the need to have some form of protein sustenance that is not vegetarian, trust your body consciousness that it knows what it's doing. You may not need very much, but it may be required for a minimal amount of balancing in a certain way that you may not be acquiring through the vegan diet. But again, it will depend upon.
But this is the also thing, right? Nothing of extreme is really good, right? The life is all also about balance, right? There are many ways of consuming all the nutrients we need, and the water and it's right. I don't think the people have to be like totally carnivorous and just eat that, or totally vegetarian or totally fruitarian. Like the best is to like, a bit of everything, right? If you can. And sometimes less is better. I don't know. It's me. Sometimes I think it's the less is better.
On your individual frequency as to what works best for you.
Understood.
There's no need to force yourself to be more spiritual. That's a contradiction. Does that make sense?
It does.
Oh.
It does.
Pay attention.
And this is the thing also, like, the food, and what is the food and what is the medicine, right? Your food should be your medicine, right? There are many other ways, through herbs and through fruits and through many other things, seeds and flowers and roots. There are many different things, right, which can be taken as also, it's very nutritive. It's very supposed to be really good. Like, that's why the nature have left us there, right? It's not only about carnivorous and vegetarian. It's without trees also we're not going to survive. Without the herbs we're not going to be cured, right? So all that is also important, being part of your diet, like as infusion, as like whatever the way you can take, right? Many different kind of salts and dried fruits and spices, and it's a lot. The nature has given us a lot for us too. It's not only about just being this or that, right?
To your emotions, pay attention to your thoughts, pay attention to your behaviors, because your behaviors, your thoughts, and your emotions are always the result of something you believe to be true. So when you engage...
David is saying weed is the best medicine. Oh yeah, all everything that comes from the nature is good medicine, and food right? This is the problem also. We are so much trusted the companies, right? And we need everything like, synthesized, right? Yeah, everything and more than what we can need is there already, right? The nature grows it. Everything, everything, everything your body needs, your soul, spirit needs is there. It grows for free. Yeah.
In any kind of action whatsoever, pay attention to what you're truly feeling. If you're honest with yourself and it is truly being done out of integrity, out of alignment with your true self, then you will know that the feeling you're feeling is not excitement but anxiety. And when you know it's anxiety and you're doing it out of anxiety or to fill the idea of an emptiness within you, then you know you're doing it for a negative reason. Find out what the negative belief is that would generate those feelings and change it and let go of it. And then you will find that you don't have those intentions. You don't have those feelings. And you will be now acting on things only in a positive and an aligned way. It's that simple. You just have to have the willingness to explore yourself honestly so that you can truly admit and own and acknowledge when you do have a negative idea, a negative feeling, and not gloss it over and cover it up and pretend that it's not there. There is nothing to fear about facing those things. You will only discover more of yourself in the exploration.
Yeah, this is the thing, right? It's with most of these kind of people, right? They're gonna give you the truth too, for sure. They have to give you the truth too. But one huge lie like this just blows it apart and shows, right? Like we have problem with this, right? So many truthers also in the planet community. For sure, they're gonna give you some truth too. But when they give you that lie, one is enough to put people off track, right? So same thing on a different level happening.
The unknown only contains more of yourself. That's all it can contain. So there's no reason to fear exploring the unknown or exploring a negative belief that you might have as to why you have it. Exploring it and discovering it and having a conscious realization that you have it is what frees you to change it. If you push it down and push it away or ignore it or bury it, then it will only come back stronger next time. And it will be even more difficult to deal with. So it is the path of least resistance as soon as you feel anything out of alignment to deal with it and find out why it's there. And it will always come down to something that you have been taught to believe is true over something else. Decide what's true for you, really true for you, on your definitional level. And when you do that, then you'll be in alignment with yourself and you will experience your life that way. And give everything that happens in your life a positive meaning if you want to experience a positive effect. If you give things negative meaning, the only effect you can get is a negative.
Anonymous is asking, why does have his hand like that? Yeah, this is one of the, how do you call that? A focus hand gesture, right? He has to have some kind of tools like this to don't show the manipulation he's doing, right? So when the people do this or this, when they are speaking this or this, whatever, it's for focusing. It's like for trying to be balanced, trying to be, right? It's a tool. It's a tool from the ancients, but it's been demonized, right? So the people don't use it, and whoever use it, the people call them Mason, Illuminati, whatever, right? Just because the Masons and the Illuminati are using these things doesn't mean. So he's using a tool to how to focus in what he's trying to do or tell or discuss, right? So these are all different kind of ways of putting your hands, right? Also a kind of symbolism that the people do, right? The Vesica Pisces, right? The earlier Christians used to do the Vesica Pisces. It used to show who are the Christians. Now the Masons are using, so everybody like, oh, this is Masonic sign. There are many signs and symbols which been hijacked. That doesn't mean it's a wrong thing, right? He's using it because he knows it works. He won't be doing his hand signals and in the air because he wants control. He wants control of the discussion. Focusing. You guys get that? Yeah, I know many are gonna believe, yeah, this is all like, but yeah, let's continue.
Because everything is neutral, and only the meaning you give it determines the outcome and the effect that you experience. And I don't mean the way it looks, I mean the way it is experienced by you. Because the idea and the proof of change is not that the outer world has changed, it's that you respond differently to it even if it looks the same. That's the proof of change. And when you truly have changed, then the outer reflection can change, but not because it has to. Because you wouldn't care whether it changed or not if you were truly generating your own positive state. Because it wouldn't matter what would happen. You would know that no matter what happens, you will only get a positive effect in your life, regardless of what anyone else is getting out of it. And by acting as that positive example to others, you can show them that they can also choose to only experience positive effects in their life, should they so desire to.
Oh yeah, for sure he's a deceiver. That's why he has their following. That's why he's there on the main stage. Right? That is the reason. He fits in for that.
Not that they have to. All that makes sense?
Yes.
All right.
A little sick a day to you this day of your time. How are you all?
You saw that? Did you see that? Like it just the entity just entered his body. Like whoa, he gone crazy. Before he was worse. Before he was overdoing that shit. Like it was just too much. Right? Hey, shout out to my brother Justin Johnson for the gifted membership, brother. Nice to see you there again in the chat. Yeah, I hope you guys are doing great. A big hello to all my amazing people here in the chat. I'll say a quick shout out to everyone. Matrix Reject is there. Salad, Anonymous, Mouse, David, our brother Justin. Then we have got Dan MC, Chief Sinner, Corey's, Kate's. Sorry guys if I'm not if I'm misspelling your name, guys. Nadex, the Jolly Man, Tarita. How are you, Tarita? Nice to see you too. And then we have got Dan MC. I think I already mentioned. Oh yeah. Before I saw Flat Out Reconnaissance. Then there is Serena Hamilton. Hey Serena, how are you? Mike Gurney, True Earth Whisperer. Hey brother. Oh yeah, those are people in here. Thought Police, YouTube Division. Alrighty. Hope you guys are doing awesome, guys. Thanks for being here and sharing your time with me here on Heliopsychosis. Yes, we are having a little change of the setup. Oh yeah, the Jolly Man, Saddlebum, SD Utsap. How are you, SD? Hope you're doing good. J.R. Hartley and our brother Cherokee, Fort Jacks. Hope you guys are doing awesome and great, guys. Nice to have you guys here. Also, hello to Jeff Gashhead. Alrighty, let's get back to Mr. Psychic.
All right. All right. We thank you once again for the allowance of this transmission at this time and for the co-creation of this interaction. We will begin this transmission by reminding everyone that the title is the Earth Flat?
Holy, is the Earth flat?
Now,
Oh, yeah.
it is interesting, it is fascinating that a subject such as this that occurred in your society so long ago should come up again at this time and seem to be spreading so prevalently.
Oh, yeah. It's been a question from so long, from thousands of years, right? Or maybe hundreds of years, right? Is the Earth flat? It's coming back. Why is it coming back?
Throughout your society, for those who are in any way, shape, or form interested in such subjects. It is all over your internet and being discussed with great seriousness by many people. So, there are two parts.
So, I'm here to say the truth. This is what he's trying to say to the people. He's literally accepting that that's a serious freaking topic. It needs to be addressed. And he's here to save the world, to save the day, right? And tell the truth. Why? Because he is in contact with a freaking alien. Oh, yeah. With an alien. Alrighty.
To this response. Now, we recognize, again, that nothing we say, in any way, shape, or form, insists that anyone must believe what we have to say. That's not why we share this information with you. But
Yeah, don't believe, but this is what we're going to say, right? Don't believe, but this is what we're going to say, and this is what it looks like is the truth for these people.
we have our point of view. You can take it or you can leave it. But this is what we will say. First of all, we will begin with a physical discussion of this concept, and then we will move to a metaphysical explanation of why we perceive this conversation seems to be so prevalent in your society at this time. So, first and foremost, we will just be blunt. The Earth is a sphere. Period. Now, the idea is easy to understand if, again, you understand at least some degree.
So where the hell did he get that from, that the Earth is a sphere, period? Did the alien tell him that it's just a sphere, that's it? Right? Or is there any science? But this is the most funny part, right? Of being so evolved in connection with the entities and aliens. His proof is from the 1400s. Let's hear it.
Of physics or celestial mechanics. You have observed, most of you, the idea of your own astronauts in what you call microgravity or zero G, and you have seen them playing with liquids. When the liquids are floating freely with no gravity, you see that the liquid forms a sphere. If that liquid...
So, he's going to be taking shit from NASA, the CGI, and he's going to be using as one of his proofs, right? Zero G gravity, right? Yeah, do that ball of 3 feet ball. Show us doing that. Yeah, throwing some bottle out of a liquid and making a ball like in a zero gravity plane, microgravity plane, right? not even in the so-called ISS, right? It shows us doing that. It's full of CGI only. So one of his main argument is supposed to be from NASA's CGI, right?
Were allowed to cool down and solidify, it would remain a sphere. All of the different pressures of the molecular structures, the molecular interactions, and so forth, electric fields, electromagnetic fields, are equally spread out in a sphere in that way.
In a sphere. Yeah. The electromagnetic and electrostatics, right? It moves in every direction, but that have nothing to do with gravity, right? We have to understand that there's only up and down, and everything that moves is up and down, right? Things are not coming, attracting, or flying away in horizontal or down, right? Depending on the energy of that magnetic field, it could expand in a spherical manner, but it's not proving a globe, or nor it's proving that the gravity is the reason that contraction is happening, right? The electromagnetics and the magnetic fields proves that the way those lines form in nature.
The liquid floating freely, you never see it turn into a disk, ever. You always see it turn.
Yeah, turning into a disc. Yeah, or turning into a ball, proving that it's a ball. Come on, Bashar. You're supposed to be a very evolved human being, one of the smartest guy out there in connection with the aliens. You're talking shit. You're talking nonsense. Just using the word quantum and all that shit, it's not going to prove anything.
Into a sphere. So when planetary formation in a solar system begins, and you know that most of the planets at their early stages are molten, liquid, then their natural tendency for a variety of
Why have to be like that, right? The so-called planets that these people call are formed in a geological way. It's not happening. Anything other than the earth is metaphysical, is light phenomena, is electromagnetics, the light show, right? Do they have any proof of their theoretical claim, the formation of the earth through magma and all these things?
reasons will be to form that sphere, just as the small amounts of liquid do in your astronauts' experiments in zero-G. And when the planets cool again, they will maintain their spherical form, their dimensional volumetric form. Now, an experiment, a very simple experiment, aside from the idea of seeing liquid floating around in a spherical shape in zero-G, a simple experiment that has already been performed on your planet that demonstrates that your planet is not flat.
No, Mr. Bashar, it's not happening. A CGI in a microgravity plane for a few seconds is not a proof of a globe. Right? You guys don't understand surface tension on micromolecular level. That's what is happening. You guys need to do it with a gravity thing, on a ball with water, stick into it and spinning. Right? A CGI is not a proof of a globe on this planet, right? That you are saying that these people have the proof of the globe with that, these clowns so-called playing with water droplets.
Very simply and very obviously, and this is something you can find on your internet, this experiment was conducted in the following way. Some of you may or may not be familiar with this already. There were people that went to the shore of a lake. You know, many of you, that when you stand on the shore of a lake, if the winds are calm, a lake will appear very, very flat. They brought with them a very powerful laser.
Oh yeah, because it is flat. It is flat. That's the reason. Not because the water is calm or it's a bit of movement.
A laser beam, as again many of you know, will shoot out in an extremely straight line. Therefore, what they did is they set up the laser on the shore. They had a boat.
What kid stuff he's speaking about? This is the thing. His audience, yeah, for sure, you have to give basics. Right? Speaking about lasers, yeah, lasers travel in a straight line, Bashar, right? The ships that use laser for communications and as weapons uses line of sight. He's gonna explain now his so-called experiment, but he doesn't get it that the laser travels in a straight line.
In the water, not too far from shore, just perhaps several dozen feet, several dozen yards at most. They then turned the laser on, and on the boat had a specific target that the laser could shine on. So when they turned the laser on, you could see the bright dot of the laser on the target on the side of the boat. You could see right there that the laser being parallel to the lake and being very straight, and the lake appearing to be very flat, the laser and the lake were in parallel. Then they decided to take the boat 3 miles from shore. That's all, just 3 miles from shore.
Yeah, that the shitty experiment these people did with some documentary there with the boat. Like, it wasn't with the laser, but it was a camera, right? Something very similar is trying to tell, but with the laser, right? This is what he's got, right? Yeah, for one of the most serious topic, as he was mentioning, and he's coming up with the most bullshit evidence, right? According to him.
And turn the laser on again. The dot now was 6 feet higher. This means that because the laser hasn't changed, the lake hasn't changed, the only thing that could possibly have changed is that the boat is lower. But it's still on the water. To the people on the boat,
the boat is lower. So he means to say that the boat is literally going down. Right? The laser didn't change, the lake didn't change, but the boat is going down. Right? If the boat is going down, the lake also have to go down. Right? That has to be going down 3 miles, 4 miles, 5 miles, and not very far. Exactly. It's all outdated bullshit. Yeah, because the people he's telling to are not gonna go and research by themselves. Right? It's like using the same thing, ships going over the horizon. Right? In 2026, these people using this as an evidence for the globe. Come on. Ask your alien friends, Bashar, to give some good evidence of your globe. And stop making shit up and ask some serious questions to your alien friends.
People on the shore, the lake still looks flat. The only explanation is that the boat is lower, which means it is curving away over the horizon slightly. And thus the laser, not having changed, is now, when it first hitting this, is now as the boat lowers, hitting a higher point. This is proof the boat is lowering. This is proof the boat is curving down over the horizon. Very simple.
Really shitty proof. Yeah, really shitty proof. Yeah, that's what I can say.
Experiment. The irony is that many people on your planet who are discussing the idea that the Earth is flat are commenting, are proposing that the Earth is actually flat, and that the fact that it seems spherical is an illusion. Just the opposite is true.
No, the illusion is what you are creating, Bashar. You are creating the illusion for that crowd and for the people to see, right? The globe illusion. Yeah, because if the globe goes, you go. The alien agenda goes. How come you're not going to come in defense of your globe, Mr. Bashar, right? Yeah, because if there's no globe, there is no alien. And then there's no job for Mr. Bashar. Right? He's protecting his niche. That's what he's doing. Illusion, yeah.
The Earth is a sphere, and the fact that it seems flat is the illusion. So,
What? What was that like? It's looks flat is an illusion, but in the end it's a globe. Guys, just digest that shit. It looks flat. And that's an illusion, but in reality, it's a globe. How come these people make this illusion with the globe people that it's flat, but they want the people to believe that it's they project the globe as if like with the curve, like for example on stellarium, right? It's flat. It has the azimuthal equidistant north pole, but everything else then there is morphed into a globe, right? The illusion they're creating of a globe on a flat, right? They're coming up with excuses that the earth is too big. The earth is too big. That's why the people, you guys don't understand that the earth is too big. Oh, really? It's too big? Where? Where? Between New York to San Francisco or to London? Yeah? Or from Australia? Yeah? To Africa? Where? Which part of the earth is big? Because it takes the same time. The kilometers are registered. The distances are registered. The miles, the circumferences, right? You guys gave it, right? Everything has been measured. Where is it big? Tell us where is big. Where is it big?
it's a little bit backwards. Now, that's the physics of it, the physical side of it, and again, easy to demonstrate. Even though the lake looks flat, you can easily prove it is not. It is following the curve of the Earth because of gravity. And the boat is lowering below the horizon, hence...
Because of gravity. It's curving because of gravity. You don't even understand the concept of what is happening with that boat, right? Because of gravity. Because of the gravity, it's just going down the slope, right? That's what is happening. This is what he's saying. Gravity. Yeah. Do your homework, yeah? Shh, Bashar, before getting into this kind of freaking topic, do your freaking homework, dude.
The raising of the laser dot, because the laser didn't move and the lake didn't change. The only thing that changed was the boat going lower over the horizon. Now, the metaphysics of this, the metaphysical reason that this is coming up is as follows from our perspective. Many people are now exploring the concept of expanding their consciousness. As you expand your consciousness, you begin to realize that time and space and physical reality are illusions. They're projections of consciousness. They're not really solid things. The idea, therefore...
Alrighty, so he's saying that the consciousness, yes, there is some truth, right? Consciousness, and that is everything is not just physical, right? The dense and the light, right? And the different frequency that different things are. That's why you have the two polarity of light and dense, right? Of physical matter, right? There is some truth to that, right? But it's a globe. Because he says so. Yeah, he understands the concept of consciousness being etheric, not touchable, right? But it's a globe because it's a physical matter. It's a ball, right? It's right there, right? And all the flatness you see is just an illusion, guys. Just an illusion.
Or is that many people are beginning to sense this in a very strong way. The idea, in a sense, that because physical reality, space and time are not real, that they are projections.
Some form of... That's the proof of change. And when you truly have changed...
Liquid, then their natural tendency for a variety now
sorry guys,
was 6
I just
feet
lost
higher.
it where I was. Give me a second.
This means that because the laser hasn't changed of it, the physical side of it, and again, even slightly, and thus the laser not having changed is now, when at first hitting this, is now as the boat lowers, hitting a higher point. Curving away over the horizon slightly. And
Sorry,
thus
guys,
the
I can't
laser,
get to the
not having
point.
changed, is now, when at first hitting this, is now as the boat lowers, hitting a higher point. This is proof the boat is lowering. This is proof the boat is curving down over the horizon. Very simple experiment. The irony is that many people on your planet who are discussing the idea that the Earth is flat are commenting, are proposing that the Earth is actually flat and that the fact that it seems spherical is an illusion. Just the opposite is true. The Earth is a sphere, and the fact that it seems flat is the illusion. So, it's a little bit backwards. Now, that's the physics of it, the physical side of it, and again, easy to demonstrate. Even though the lake looks flat, you can easily prove it is not. It is following the curve of the Earth because of gravity. And the boat is lowering below the horizon, hence the raising of the laser dot, because the laser didn't move and the lake didn't change. The only thing that changed was the boat going lower over the horizon. Now, the metaphysics of this, the metaphysical reason that this is coming up, is as follows from our perspective. Many people are now exploring the concept of expanding their consciousness. As you expand your consciousness, you begin to realize that time and space and physical reality are illusions. They're projections of consciousness.
Oh yeah, projections and holograms and light. It's not real. Yeah, but the real is the globe.
They're not really solid things. The idea, therefore, is that many people are beginning to sense this in a very strong way. The idea, in a sense, that because physical reality, space and time are not real, that they are projections of consciousness. The idea to most of you of a projection is something that you see projected on a wall that's flat. You can take it.
Holy shit! This is. I'm gonna make this a big screen, guys. So just give me a minute. Alrighty. What can I do? Alrighty.
And very obviously, and this is something you can find on your internet, this experiment was conducted in the following way. Some of you may or may not be familiar with this already. There were people that went, that's the physics of it, the physical side of it, and again, easy to demonstrate. Even though the lake looks flat, you can easily prove it is not. It is following the. Many people are beginning to sense this in a very strong way. The idea, in a sense, that because physical reality, space and time are not real, that they are projections of consciousness. The idea to most of you of a projection is something that you see projected on a wall that's flat.
Yeah, in a way, he means to say, yeah, that this is a projection on a flat, but it's a globe. Yeah, this is what he's trying to say, right?
A flat picture. In a sense, holographically speaking, a hologram is flat. But you can create the illusion of three-dimensionality, of volume in it, by your angle of viewing, by how you illuminate it. So the issue is that while many people are sensing truly that physical reality, in a sense, metaphorically, isn't really solid, is in a sense flat as a projection, unreal, in other words, they're simply applying too physical of an interpretation to this idea, which again is ironic because the reason they're sensing that is an energy one, a spiritual one, and yet they're interpreting the spiritual causation of recognizing physical reality as being, quote unquote, flat and unreal, as if it were literally true physically.
What garbage is he spewing? Right? He wants to say, yeah, it's in a way like, metaphorically it's flat, but it's round. This guy's is total word salad with this part. Right? Mixing with hologram and projection on a 2D, but it's 3D effect. Dude, a 3D effect.
That's why that's happening. They simply are mixing up and confusing the idea of an energetic.
Oh yeah, he purposely does that. Yeah, MC says, look at his face. Yeah, he purposely does that. He thinks that he looks like an alien. Shout out to DJ New Moon, and also to Joanna and Jeff. Alrighty.
Projection of consciousness with something that's actually happening in the physical reality. But by the definition itself of physical reality, it's volumetric as an experience. You experience the idea of height and width and depth. Therefore, the idea of what might be a flat projection energetically, holographically, still plays out, is still interpreted by consciousness in physical terms as a...
He's still calling it a projection, right? He's still calling it a projection. That you are seeing the flat, but it's a projection. It's supposed to be a globe.
volume. So even though it may energetically seem to be a disk, physically a disk has to turn into a sphere. You saw this also presented in some of your films, especially one that recently depicted the concept of what does a black hole...
Like metaphysically, it's flat. Right? Metaphysically, it's flat. Yeah, it's flat. Even in the consciousness or in the so-called spiritual divine eye, if you want to call it, right? The consciousness perceives in a plane, right? For sure it's coming, but it perceives not on a sphere, it doesn't curve, right? You're reaching those endless, being part of that endless, what you see is connected to you. That's the reason you can see it, because it's a plane.
Hole actually look like. Many people think of the idea still on your planet that a black hole is, in a sense, a hole, dimensionless, flat, a disk. But it's not. It is something that expresses itself, at least to some...
Why is it not? Because that's what we see, right? So that's what it is. Don't try to confuse the people with your illusion. Of it's this, it looks like this, but it is that. No, stop being a how do you say, snake oil salesman, Bashar.
Degree in your physical dimensionality. Therefore, a black hole is also spherical. If it weren't, you would not really be able to perceive it. Because things that are truly two-dimensional are not really easily perceivable in your reality. You can see two-dimensional...
That's what we are seeing in reality, right? If we could see the three-dimensional of these so-called planets, we don't see it. We see almost like a 2D, two layers.
Aspects or parts of things, such as your own shadow on the ground, or like we said, a projection of an image on a wall. But you have to understand that the projection is not just the flat image on the wall. The projection coming from a projector is a cone of light that you only see the bottom of on the wall. So you have to understand that anything that is created holographically in a metaphysical, spiritual, energetic sense, in a consciousness sense, by definition is going to present itself volumetrically and three-dimensionally in your experience of physical reality. Therefore, the Earth, in physical terms, is a sphere, even though in energetic, spiritual, non-physical terms, it can be considered flat because it's not real. It's just a projection.
If that's not real, how come your bullshit is real, Bashar? Right? Because you are the one who says through frequencies and energy and through consciousness is your contact to these aliens. Right? Is that real or is not that real? Maybe it's more real than the contact you do with these physical mobile phones and electrical telephones or whatever the way you have to connect to the people. Right? In reality, the truth is that metaphysically and in physically, it's flat. It's not we are perceiving it flat or we are just seeing it flat. You are a freaking deceiver, telling lies to the masses. And you're not the first one, nor are you going to be the last one. You guys are all the puzzle pieces of the globe machine, the globe agenda, right? You are part of it, right? Because if the globe goes, everything goes. So you have to come up with bullshit. Yeah? Maybe he did get the answer. But maybe he don't want to tell the truth. Right? So maybe he's trying to save his karma by telling, yeah, metaphysically it's flat, but physically it's a ball. What's physics or quantum physics have you got to explain people living on the surface of a ball stuck because of gravity? So, are you guys so dumb, right? Just using fancy words is not gonna make it true. Right? Put all your guys together to prove your globe. The only thing you guys do is ridicule yourself and show how absurd is the globe. Tarita, she's saying he lost me at the hello. Yeah, this is all acting. That pure, like, the alien entering his body, and then the people freaking buy that shit. People pay to attend this shit, and they think that they're getting the download of their life. Yeah. This is utter pure manipulation of psychology.
So clarity would be important to bring into the conversation so that people can understand that, in a sense, both sides are correct. It's just that they're correct only in a certain context.
Yeah, both sides are correct, but it's a globe. Yeah. That we are correct in the context, the metaphysical. That's the real reality, Bashar. That's the real reality. You showing yourself as a teacher and an awake one. That's the real reality. This is a freaking dream. What is physical and what is real? And what is an illusion? You are calling the metaphysical an illusion, which we see in what it is, the realm, the intelligent design, right? Where goes all your sacred connection with the earth, right? Of this being. So you mean to say that it's a freaking accident, right? Yeah, it helps your cause for sure. You're gonna say it's an accident, that we do come from primordial soup, right? Or some alien race has made us, and we are in an experiment, and you have the contact of these aliens, right? This is what you want the people to believe. It's a lie. You're selling a lie, right? And all your credibility goes down the drain by you taking this topic and telling the lies.
Not across the line from non-physical to physical. These are two different ways of interpreting the idea of the projection of consciousness. And that clarity can be brought into the conversation to allow everyone to know that they are beginning to perceive reality in an important way, that it is a projection of consciousness, that it isn't really real, that it isn't really around you, that you don't really live in it, that physical reality exists within you. As we have said previously during some of these transmissions, the idea of evolving, the idea of raising your frequency, the idea of ascension, the idea of becoming more sensitive, more aware of what you really are and what physical reality experience.
Yeah, this is also one of their freaking agenda. They want the people to believe that these people evolved from monkey, and they need to reach that consciousness and spirituality, right? Come on, Bashar. The spirituality is inside, right? All the ancient cosmology, the connection with spirituality. No one believes that they come from the monkey, right? So what teaching are you really teaching, right? This is just to keep those globe space sci-fi lovers like entertained, right? Oh, there's some spiritual connection with space. We're gonna meet some beings and they're gonna help us. They're gonna save us from this. Yeah, it's part of that too.
Really is that you finally get to the point where you realize.
Hey, shout out to our brother Geocentric Truth. Nice to see you, brother.
That you actually are the dimension you previously thought you existed in. So, to put it in other terms, most of you still think on the planet that your spirit is inside your body. No, your body is inside your spirit. It's just that your spiritual focus.
Oh yeah, and then we're gonna give a little bit of sprinkle of truth here and there to wrap it up, that everything is a truth, or everything he's saying is truth and makes sense, and there's nothing wrong with it because he's finishing it with a truth which resonates. That's pure manipulation of psyche. You get that?
Is narrowed down to the parameters of the physical experience. But when you expand your concept.
Exactly. Now his hands are all over the place. Yeah, because now he's not making lies up too. Now he's free. He's got that shit past it, right? That's why he's open, he's free. He's like, yeah, open, right? Pure manipulation. Absolutely.
Of spirit and consciousness It's that you expand beyond the parameters of the physical focus. You include the body within the greater consciousness that you are. It's a part of you. It's an experience within you. But it's not that the spirit is actually leaving the body. It's just expanding beyond it to include it as part of the experience, but it also becomes so much more than just the experience of the physical personality. Does that make sense? All right.
No.
We thank you for allowing us to explain this at this time. Other discussions can be had on this subject during this or any other transmission. But we invite you now to ask your questions and allow us, if we may, to be of service to you.
Alrighty. Oh, what a liar. Right? What a manipulative artist, we can call it. Right? So yeah, these people are required. These people are required for the globe agenda to continue, right? These people are, apart from those alien guys, right? We have quite a handful of them, the ancient alien and all that stuff. So these guys are also required, right? For sure, they have all those abduction things and all that stuff too, for the people to make it more real. But this guy, he prepared himself, right? He prepared himself psychologically. What he's doing in reality, it's like he studied people like Manly P. Hall, Sigmund Freud, and all these guys, and there are a few other guys, right? And I'm trying to understand the psyche of the human, right? And the psychology of the human, and how. Once you understand it, people can use it for the benefit or against it, right? So he chose, in a way, to be more manipulative, right? He understands that's why there is many things. There's a lot of truth in there too, because it's all come from these people who have put a lot of effort in understanding the human psyche and how it could be manipulated, right? So this is what he's done. And this is what it shows, right? That these people are never going to tell the truth. They're going to be manipulative. They're going to do their things, right? Never in reality give the real answers, right? I don't think he's really channeling some entity or an alien from other place. I don't think so. Yeah, just this bullshit of him speaking about the earth being around and all this basic shit, and in the end mixing up with the consciousness and projection and right, it's just to confuse the people more so he can continue with his gig, because no space, no alien, no space race, we're not going anywhere, right? So this is what it looks like. What he is. He's not channeling anything. What he's channeling is bucks, big bucks. That's what he's channeling. And he prepared himself. He got the skills. And he's doing it. And the people who have eyes to see is going to see it. That's pure manipulation of the masses. And people love it. People love it. People think that they're getting some important message that they need to hear through this alien who's speaking through this guy. Right? As I told you, it was unbearable before. Right? Sometimes he gets that. But it's not that I'm following him or like, things shows up and you listen, and if you have eyes to see, you can see that there is some manipulation or psychological trick going on with the people, right? How you control the things that you're trying to relate or to the question being asked, right? Psychologically have to be present and focused to don't get out of the line and don't sound manipulative and lies. And that resonance of truth is there for the people to believe. That's deep shit, right? But yeah, there are people. So, yeah, another sellout, another disinfo agent, another gear there. Yeah, so that the space sci-fi lovers and all these NASA lovers and all the globers, right, being happy, right? Aliens are there. We are in contact, right? As I said, people do have contacts. People do this kind of thing, but he's not legit. All I can say is he's not legit. The shit he's making up and telling that the Earth is a globe, it just shows. I think it's the proof that people needed. If he's legit, because there are many people who question him, right? Many people. And people are stupid. So these kind of things, when it comes out, it shows the real reality of what the people are. If it's legit or not legit. Right? Snake oil salesman. Right? So yeah, guys. Yup, make up your mind. Right? Sometimes you just need one thing to know everything. That's the best part about life and about truth, right? So yeah, it was an awesome breakdown in a way, right? Of trying to show what these people are. And there are many in every aspect, as I mentioned. All these guys, the main guys, they're all there to keep the sheep under control. Oh yeah, absolutely, guys. So yeah, we are almost 1.5 hour. I think we are good for today. I'm trying new times, so let's see how it goes. And yeah, don't trust what you see, right, on internet, especially these kind of people, right? But also don't stop thinking or believing that it's possible or not, these kind of things, right? We are humans, right? We have more senses than what we think we have. It's not only about the 5 senses, right? Even walking is one of a sense, right? Even we float through the air, right? That's the first thing when we do when we are young, when we are toddler, we try to float when we walk our first steps, right? And that's when we get old, we lose that, right? It's one of the senses. And there are many other senses, right? Right. And talking or connecting with friends or people or whatever, I know that people many don't take this in a very positive way, but yeah, we are capable of, right? We are, if we want to go it scientifically, right? Remote viewing is a real science, right? That we could call it's an out of body experience, right? It's real science. Just because it has that science word behind it makes you think, oh yeah, maybe now I believe that an out of body experience is possible, right? No, it's not like that. We humans are capable of a lot of things, and these kind of sellouts are taking advantage of those real possibilities in really helping the humanity. If there is a connection of this kind of whatever he thinks that is the savior or want to save the humankind, get the right information. Get the information that can help humanity progress. Right, not just the word salad and speaking, and like just because speaking like an alien doesn't mean you are in contact with the alien, right? And you screwed yourself up by getting into flat earth, right? That's what we can say. So there you have it, guys. I think we are good for today. I really enjoyed it. Yep. There was another guy, I don't remember. Yeah, that black dude. Yeah. Also the thought and pyramids and all this stuff. Same. He's the same generic kind of this guy, right? Connecting with aliens, but being there with aliens, and they know a lot of shit. That's for sure. They know a lot of shit about the earth, the places, and everything. That's their skill. They build it up, right? So that they can be in that position and say shit and try to get away with it, right? So there you have it, guys. Thanks for everyone being here. There were awesome people in the chat here tonight. Thanks for being here and spending your time. It was great, right? Keep an eye for these kind of so-called messiah and prophets and truth seekers, right? There are many, right? Cannot be trusted, right? So, especially after TFE. Oh yeah, baby, yeah. Thanks, guys, and yeah. This is Vikka signing out, guys. See you next week. Bye, everyone. Love you all. See you next week. Bye.
If only you knew how true this is. Your eye, inverted from the start. The gateway's guarded, the sentinel sleeps, but realize, 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 realize. Seizure in the pineal, Lucifer's disguise. Globe in your socket, program from the cradle. Flight up, true rising. Watch the matrix cradle. Your eyes or they scream. Choose your side. Open the single lie. Let the most high inside. Realize, realize, realize. Wake up, sheeple, before the firmament dies. Image is the retina upside down, blind spot in the middle. Brain flips the script, constructs the riddle. They call it the globe, the ball in your skull. Dollar bill, flash in the eye, the cold. All seeing counterfeit, hovering high. Pyramid, unfinished, over sort of lie. Melly P. Hall spoke the deeper truth. Eyes a gateway, sentinel of the youth. But they calcified the pineal, fluoride in the water. Block a third eye, lead the soul to slaughter. Realize, realize, realize. Realize, realize, realize. Seagull in the pineal, Lucifer's disguise. Levels you the rays like crossing the grand. Pineal throne where the lines make the stand. Downward V with the bars curl at the base. Seed your love, Lucifer etched in the space. Zoom to the cosmos, eclipse in the night. Penumbra, umbra, same shadow, same sight. As above, so below. Fractal deception. Enemy braining God's perfect perception. They know the design, mimic the creator. Fallen ones teaching the hidden equator. Space is a story, you swallowed it whole. CGI heavens on the screen that they control. No measurable curve. Water finds level. Horizon eye level. No spin, no bevel. Polaris fixed stars. Circuit the dome. Southern circles opposite. Truth coming home. Both stones vanish whole first. Just zoom them back. No stellar parallax. Constellations intact. You and logo laughing. Flat map in plain sight. 33 sections. Ice wall. Firmament light. Truth in their temple. Mocking the blind while you trust NASA's forked serpent sign. Standing on the shore. Flat line to the end. Sun local lamp. Not a ball around the bend. But hold up the phone. Curved line your hand. Choose your master, whose vision will stand. Your eyes or the screen, flesh or machine, God's creation or Lucifer's dream. Realize, realize, realize. choose your side. Fill the single lie with light, let darkness die. Realize, realize, realize. The lamp of the body is the eye. Matthew 6:22, open wide. If your eye be single, your whole body filled with light. But if your eye be evil, darkness inside. Realize, realize, realize.